Hi, my name is Michael King. I'm from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I'm fighting for my future children and grandchildren.
I'm fighting for our kids. No mandates.
I'm fighting for the future of my child.
I'm out here fighting for kids.
I'm fighting for my future grandkids.
I'm fighting for the Constitution of this country.
I am fighting for yours and mine freedom.
Fighting for freedom for all.
I am fighting for you.
Right there, some of the People's Convoy attendees on why they have trucked a long way to pave the way for medical freedom across our nation. Now, over the weekend, the convoy finally made its way into our nation's capital. Thousands of people gathering to support the People's Convoy, and, as usual, the mainstream media refusing to cover it. I mean, look at that. Would you want to cover that? If you're a CNN, if you've been lying about COVID for nearly 2 years, or MSNBC, no, you wouldn't want that to be seen. Not to mention, since you're covering for Joe Biden's ass, would you want to see thousands of patriots like that show up? But they are continuing to fight so that we have a voice, folks. Are you helping out? Are you supporting them? There's a lot of people that have joined in this movement over the last 2 weeks since they made their way to Washington, D.C. In fact, the nonprofit group Moms for America gathered over the weekend. They held a rally really close by in Virginia, where they gathered patriots from all walks of life. That's right. These are young, old, black, red, yellow, white, brown, male, female, you name it. They're all there. Okay, we're not going to allow the mainstream media and the left, because I know what they're already doing, to try and paint this People's Convoy as this is just a bunch of white redneck white supremacists, like they tried to do up in Canada. Remember? Now, the organization says they are fighting not only for medical freedoms, but also for parental rights, economic freedom, and our kids' education. Moms for America founder and president Kimberly Fletcher spoke at that rally over the weekend. Take a look.
Everywhere we have gone, we have seen families and veterans and just every possible American you could possibly imagine there, meeting us and thanking us for being there. And I have to tell you, it was the greatest thing ever to see them there, to know that it's freedom rings and freedom's rolling and it's everywhere. But one of the things that's been really exciting for us is while we've been on the convoy, we've been able to meet some incredible people, but at the same time, because we're moms first, right? We've been hopping on and hopping off. So we had one of the mom that was here was Sandra Mariana. She had to go home for a wedding. I had to jump off for a day to close on my house that I signed for the closing of my house. I mean, we're all just doing our thing, and it's just incredible that we're able to be here and we're putting our family ahead while we're coming here.
Here now to discuss further about the convoy, but also just the fight for our freedoms and liberties in this country, Kimberly Fletcher. She's our patriot of the day, trying to make a difference, founder and president of Moms for America. Kimberly, nice to see you again. How have you been?
I have been great. It has been a wild ride the last, I think 10 days, but it has been very exciting.
Yeah, so the trucker convoy now enters, I think since it left California, we're on day, 13 or 14 since it left. I know you guys got involved early on. Now, talk to me about this weekend, because I know that you guys had a rally in nearby Virginia, and then they've been staging in Maryland just outside the Beltway, and they took the convoy in and around the city, which we're going to discuss further with our very own Stefan Kleinhans when he joins us here in just a moment. But talk to me about the separate events. Are we trying to just get as much exposure and as much going on around D.C. to create more buzz, and that's why there's more rallies and groups popping up?
Absolutely. So what we have had is a lot of moms who have reached out to us and said, please come to our area, come to our community. And so we said, while we're here, let's spread out and let's reach as many moms as we possibly can and families. And I'll tell you, the people that I met yesterday at the rally, it was absolutely incredible. These were people who, there was a family there, an Indian couple who'd come from India with $20, and they lived for $20 for a whole week. And I was like, how did you do that? And they said, well, we lived on bread and milk until we could find a job. And now He has a job he's a professor at a university. Their son is a commander in the Navy, and she's running for office and then Congress. And so and she said, that's what they said, is it was the American dream. This is the only place that you could do this. And this is why we are holding the rallies. It's why we were in the convoy. We've been there since California, and we have our big purple truck, and we're just meeting moms and families and patriots everywhere we go.
You know, when we had you on the program months ago to talk about the rights of our children, because we have seen what not only the COVID lockdown has done, and we know that the People's Convoy is a big part of it, of course, goes to medical freedom of choice with the vaccines and all the lockdowns and mask restrictions. But when it comes to our children, and I know some people might be like, well, Dan, you're beating a dead horse. Well, I'm going to continue to keep saying it because I have a teenage daughter, and it's been just driving me mad that not only have we pushed the over-sexualization of our children at a young age now in school, some of these books and curriculum they're pushing, the CRT racist crap they're pushing. Then on top of that, add the masks, the social distancing, the not being in classrooms for a year and a half for the last 2 years. All this compounded. We have done so much damage to our children, Kimberly, that we have got to be their voice. I am so disgusted. I know you are too.
I know. Well, and that's extremely important that we are continuing to say this. It's kind of like the whole 9/11 thing, you know, when they said, why do you keep showing the footage? Because we don't want to forget.
Yes.
We have to stand up for those freedoms, for our kids especially. And that's really why we jumped in on the convoy. The moment that the American truckers said we're going to ride, we said we need a truck and we need to ride, because this is a way that we can have a very powerful voice and message as we go across the nation, telling people that we are still here, we are not okay with this, and meet with all of those moms that we've been hearing from, because we've been hearing from them from all 50 states, and calling us, telling us that their children are having masks taped to their mouths, that there's a thing called mask mouth now, and doctors are talking about it, where there's erosion of teeth, and there's a disease around their faces, and I'm like, staph infection. I mean, all of these things are real. So from the mask mandates, to, as you said, to the sexualization of our children, to the critical race theory, social emotional learning, all of these things, parents are rising up and saying, enough, this is not okay. And I've been saying for 15 years, the moment that moms realize what's going on behind closed doors in their children's classrooms, there's going to be a national revolt. And that's exactly what we're seeing, a mom-led revolution. And our truck was just going across the country leading that revolution for the last 2 weeks.
That's amazing. I love that you joined in, that other groups have joined in. This thing has just become from, well, I wouldn't even say something small, because it began pretty big, but it was amazing to watch it grow as it went across the country.
Miles.
Each state, I know.
70 miles long. It was,
yeah.
we were getting lost. We were having to we had our own feed to be able to connect with each other, because it was so big and so massive that we had to have a direct communication to know when it was time to leave and where we were going to stop. It's huge. It's amazing. And people need to be paying attention to this. And you can easily tie it into what's happening in the Ukraine, because I'm like, listen, do you want to be Ukraine? Do you want to be in that position where you're losing your freedom on such a grand scale? No. So let's start talking about the fight for freedom, because the whole entire world is looking to the United States and saying, please be strong. And what they're seeing with this trucker convoy is inspiring them to know there is still hope for America, and that means there's still hope for the world.
Yes. What a great way to end the interview. I'm going to leave it right there. Kimberly Fletcher, founder and president, Moms for America. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate you.